So, the 2025 Formula One season, what a finish. But here's the thing. The guy who lifted the trophy, he might not have actually been the best driver on the track that day. Let's get into it.
So, picture this, a whole season, right down to the wire. And Lando Norris finally does it, clinching his first ever world championship in Abu Dhabi. But even as the champagne was spraying, a huge debate was already kicking off in the paddock.
Yeah, so who really was the best performer on the day? That's the big question. And to figure it out, we're going to dive into two completely different expert breakdowns, one from Sky Sports and the other from the race. And trust me, their answers show this massive split in how you even define performance in F1.
All right, first things first, let's zoom all the way out and look at the big picture, the entire 2025 season.
For that, we're leaning on the season ratings from Sky Sports. Basically, they gave every single driver a score for their whole year, judging how much they squeezed out of their car from race 1 all the way to that final checkered flag. Okay, and right away, here's the first huge curveball. Lando Norris wins the whole thing, right? He's the champion. But Sky Sports actually rated Max Verstappen as the best performer of the entire year. A massive 9.5 out of 10, and our new champ, Lando, he's all the way down in third. Wow.
And this chart right here, this tells you a big part of the why. You want to know how fast a driver really is? Look at how they do against their own teammate in qualifying. I mean, that's the only other guy with the exact same car. And look at this. Verstappen and Alonso were perfect. They beat their teammates every single time. That is just insane dominance. That's what the experts are looking at.
And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? Even the CEO of McLaren, his rival's team, calls Verstappen a horror movie character. It just perfectly sums up how everyone in the paddock feels. Sure, Norris has the big trophy, but Max's raw speed, that's still the benchmark everyone is chasing.
Okay, so that's the big picture. Now let's zoom way in. Let's talk about that one final winner-take-all race in Abu Dhabi.
So for this close-up, we're looking at an analysis from The Race, and their whole approach is completely different. They don't care about the whole season, they are laser-focused on just that one weekend. Who extracted every last drop of performance from their car right then and there?
And check this out. This is where it gets really, really interesting. On the day he becomes world champion, Lando Norris is ranked as only the third best driver on the grid. His performance was solid, sure, it was smart, but spectacular? According to The Race, not so much.
And this quote here nails the reason why. Think about it from Lando's perspective. He didn't need to be a hero and win the race. He just needed to get on the podium to lock up the title. So that's what he did. He played it safe, took zero risks, and just brought it home. It was a championship-winning drive, not a race-winning drive. There's a big difference. So what you end up with is this really cool hierarchy from the race. You've got Norris at number 3, doing exactly what he needed to do. Then, ahead of him at number 2 is his own teammate, Oscar Piastri, who was actually going for it, trying to win. And at number 1, the guy who was just untouchable all weekend, from pole position to the checkered flag, Max Verstappen. All right, so this gives us a really fascinating contrast. Let's put our two main guys, Lando and Max, right next to each other. And this table just lays it all out, crystal clear. You've got Lando Norris, the champion. Yeah, his ratings are lower, but who cares? He's got the trophy. The key takeaway is he did what it took to win the war. Then you've got Max Verstappen, the performer. Sky-high ratings, number 1 in the final race. He absolutely, flawlessly won the final battle. And this whole thing isn't just about Lando and Max. Take a look at Charles Leclerc. It's so interesting, both Sky Sports with their season-long view and The Race with their single race view basically said the same thing about him. He was an overachiever, constantly dragging that Ferrari to places it probably shouldn't have been. It's kind of cool how different ways of looking at it can point to the same conclusion. So, what's the big takeaway here? What does all this really tell us about how we define greatness in a sport like F1? Well, it really shows us that there are two totally different paths to success, right? You've got the championship mindset, that's Lando Norris. He played the long game, he managed his risk, he racked up the points. Then you have the performer mindset, that's Max Verstappen. It's all about maximizing every single moment, pushing to the absolute edge every single time. The bottom line is, context is everything. A single race doesn't tell the whole story, and different ways of analyzing this stuff can give you different but totally valid truths. So that leaves us with the big question for you. At the end of it all, who gets your vote for Driver of the Year? Do you go with the champion, the guy who masterfully played the long game to win the war?
Or do you pick the performer, the one who put on an absolute clinic to win that final battle? As we've just seen, when it comes to Formula One, there's almost never a simple answer.